Brothers, she destroyed the contract. She destroyed the contract. After the demise of slavery, there was a contract that existed between black men, black women, and children. It was an agreement. It was an understanding that we would work together to survive in the face of a hostile society, in the face of white supremacy. Our relations were never perfect, but we understood that we needed each other in order to survive. And we did that throughout the age of Jim Crow. We did that up until the death of Martin Luther King Jr.
This is a message for black women specifically. Black women specifically. Let the table break. Let the building collapse. Let the ship sink. Let things go to the wayside. Sometimes the best thing that we can do is let things fall apart and teach others to rely on themselves, just like they taught you to rely on you. Because when people feel or experience usually, hopefully, the same things as you are, they have better empathy and understanding of what it means to be you. You make it look easy. It is not. And I salute you. And that is why I'm telling you to let things hit the fan, to let the ship sink. Step to the side, put on your life jacket first, and deal with everything else after.
As the oracle says, let's go ahead and get the obvious out of the way. This has been coming for quite some time, and a whole discussion comes from like a 2-minute discussion I had with Marcus on Keep It 100 like maybe 2 months ago. And the whole table discussion, which has been going on since Obsidian actually put it out there back in 2015. God, I can't believe it's been 8 years. Since 2015. And about men and women coming back to the table, the bargaining table, and horse trading with their men, right? Black women. Back with black men. And he's been consistent about that. But I have very obvious reasons of my own. And as you've seen with Dr. Ronald Neal, he said at the very beginning, about they destroyed the contract. They tore up the contract. Yeah, she told you why. And then after that, he saw the young lady, finally, someone had the guts enough to say it. And you can tell she's not ghetto. She's not a strag. Now she's wearing the Hotep clothing or the Hotep uniform. You can tell she's educated. Probably masters or better. Very well spoken. In no uncertain terms, talked about let the table go. Break the table. Let the boat sink. Let the community burn. In other words, they're not having it. There's this old saying about Dante, it's better to rule in hell than serve in heaven. And I think at the bottom of all this, I think black women have had that sentiment pretty much all along. You go back to the book Their Eyes Are Watching God, when at the very end of the book, she says it's the two freest people in the America are who? White men and black women. Why? Because they do what they want. It has never been an easy deal between black men and black women. We were not organically grown together as a people. We're forced together as a group for what? Survival. And as Dr. Deal says, that to survive this racist element that has destroyed many people. 70, 80 million Native Americans have gone down the smoke heap behind white supremacy. And we, because we were useful, and two, because we were resilient, and three, because black men and women came together to survive this experience and actually guide our progeny 12 generations through this whole ordeal. And we've come out the other side. And when we came out the other side, guess what? Black women liked their place. They liked their place at the head of the table. They liked their place at the head of society. They liked their place running this thing. And when black men demanded their spot, demanded that it was their time to shine, their time to supposedly lead the community, guess what? Black women were not willing to relinquish it and have fought it ever since. Everything you look at when it's concerning post, as Dr. Neal says, post Martin Luther King was nothing but resistance, even down to allowing white women to take civil rights and affirmative action from their men, and then hiding their hand with it. When Dr. Clark and Moynihan got together to actually supposedly give remedy to the black family, which would have been fine with them if they had put black women in the lead, but they decided that the downtrodden black man needed a lift, they needed a hand which nobody would give him to fix, quote unquote, the black family and all that ails it. Guess what happened? The white liberals and the black women got together and said no. In other words, they destroyed the contract. They unlinked our fates, and then had the nerve to actually blame it on black men, when it's very obvious what happened, what they did, and it's documented, even though they tried to bury it. But that was all good until what happened? Maybe to a couple of decades ago, maybe a decade and a half, black men got something they had never had in this country for almost 300 years, which is choice in who they mated with. Miscegenation was always aimed at black men. The guns, the nooses, the fires, the dogs, all that was always aimed at black men. To survive, black women stood in the gap. Why did she do that? Because she knew Massa, a white man, didn't mean her any better than she did the black man. And she had no desire to serve underneath Miss Ann. In fact, that's what half of this independence was about. Not being able to serve under Miss Ann. Even black men agreed that we would sacrifice ourselves, sacrifice education, sacrifice our futures to work so that our women would not be put underneath a sexual assault by working in Miss Ann's kitchen, so that master, mister, would not have access to her. And when it was time for black women to return the favor, guess what they said? No, thank you. We're good. We'll keep what we have. You can stay working at your blue collar jobs and being unemployed or whatever that you do. You get it out the mud like you've been getting it. We'll take the lift from the white man's government. We'll take the lift from civil rights and we'll run with it. That's exactly what they did. They've been doing it for the last 50 years and been doing it while saying the whole time that black men were oppressing them and holding them back, which was never true. But guess what? Who raises the children? It's not black men, it's black women. Who indoctrinates the boys? It's not black men, it's black women. Black men have to pretty much almost yell and scream and beat the living daylights out of black boys to realize, actually get them to realize what the truth actually was. Now come full circle. Now we have a group of men, a group of boys, a group of men that do not know Joseph or Josephine, and they don't have the same race loyalty that was beaten into black men. by white supremacy and our own women. Now it comes to the point where they have choice. Black men have choice, not only locally, but globally. But yet, as I always say, that winter soldier chip inside a black man's head is still there. And they will not believe that the table that they so long to sit at and negotiate and get what they've always dreamed of, which is compliance and cooperation with black women, is not there. And they won't believe it till they actually come to the table, sit down with the woman, and she tells him directly. Because we can line it all up that we want. We can tell him all that's true about it. We can sometimes even show them who they are. Not only with the present, but going all the way back 200 years. This is who they are. This is who they will be. And they're not willing to change, or maybe even, I wouldn't even say willing, capable of changing. Is it too far ingrained into our black ADOS women that they cannot change? But rather than attempt to change or try to change or meet black men halfway, they still think they're doing us a favor. That's what you heard from this young lady. They think they're holding us up. They think without them, we will fall. They think without them, we'll get so oppressive that we're running back to actually begging them to hide behind their skirts again. That's what they believe. They believe that the white man and the white world and the rest of the world will oppress us, beat us down, and send us back in a bloody mess to their doorstep so they can tell us, see, told you not to go out there like we're little boys. But now you've heard it. You've heard that's who they are. That's what they're on. And they said that they're not willing to give an inch. It's either take it or leave it. They've said this. So no matter what anybody else says about them saying that you should lead, they don't want you to lead. I heard that yesterday from this drag saying that black men should lead and show us and talk kind to us. It's bullshit. They don't want you to lead. They want you to comply. They want you to shut up, get behind them. Just like Tiffany Cross said, right? Get behind your women. Shut the hell up, get behind your women. Like you always have. And be a good boy. Only go out front when there's danger, there's dogs, or there's police, and become a human shield again. Now, if brothers want that, God bless them. I can't tell you how to live your life. If you want to bend the knee and serve the black woman that way, God bless you. Can't tell you how to live your life. But this young lady has told them, let go of the table. In other words, just like they destroyed the contract, they destroyed the table. Table's broken. The young lady said so. I have told you this for the last 7 years, that the odds of the black community coming back together under these circumstances in this environment that doesn't want a black family or the black community to exist in, and have been trying for the last 5 generations to destroy it and actually blend it in with the rest of the community to admix forcibly, that was going to take an extraordinary effort to actually hold this community together the way it consists of, right? And they can't do it without the compliance and the obedience of the black woman. And she's not going to obey. She's not going to comply. She just said so. 1961, when they gave her welfare, same welfare rights that the white woman had over white men, they gave it to her. Guess what she did? Did she stay with her man like the white woman? No, she jetted. She couldn't wait to get away from you. You're the permanent underclass. You're the anchor to the boat. You're not the steering end of the boat. You're the anchor to the boat. She couldn't wait to weigh anchor and cut you off. It is what it is. She destroyed the contract. She destroyed the table. And now, just like fat meat is greasy and you slipped and you finally discovered it, looking up on your backside, looking up at the ceiling, finally realize what the truth is. You finally touched the hot stove and realized that the stove is hot. Just like you just touched the hot stove with affirmative action. That as long as she got it, she's willing to keep. As long as her and Becky and Miss Ann got it, she was willing to keep and not give it to you. She never fought for you to go to school and wholesale. There's always individuals. She never put you first, okay? You were always secondary. Everybody knows the girls are first. In any black family, the girls are first as far as education. That has been proven over and over and over again by many, many scholars. Dr. Kanjufu said the same thing. I got a brother, high scholar, PhD, black male psychologist that works with kids, work with boys, says the exact same thing. I'm going to read you later a article from 2003 that tells you the exact same thing that I'm telling you. Maybe it's good. Maybe they should break the table. Maybe they should let the boat sink. Maybe they should let it burn. Maybe the gynocracy, for all its use, that it got us through 200 years to actually survive this experience, maybe it did its job. Perhaps. But brothers will not let it go. You hold on to them, just like anything else, because you don't know anything else. But now you've heard it. You've been warned. There is no table, because she just broke the table. She told that to black women, break the table, let it sink, let it go asunder, let it burn. Okay, fine. Table's broken. In other words, there's nothing there for you at that table. So guess what? Join your Asian brothers, your Japanese brothers, your Korean brothers, your Chinese brothers. What's the term? Let it rot. Stop trying to water it. Stop trying to take care of it. Stop trying to prune it. Stop trying to hold it up. Let it rot. If they won't cooperate, let it rot. Go monk. Go celibate. Get your ass on a goddamn plane. Get your blue check passport. Get on a plane. Get your skills up. Go someplace else where the women are cooperative, the grass is greener, and basically all the obstacles that stand in your way in this country don't exist. Is it tough over there to actually make your way in Africa, in Latin America? Yes. Yes, it is. But do you want to continue serving hell? That's all I got for you. Let it rot, brothers. Table's broken. Said so. The contract is torn. They destroyed the contract, broke the table. Let it go. Touch the hot stove. We've shown you over and over again who you messing with, who they are. They've told you who they are, and they just told you, let it go. With that, that's all I got for you. This is BGS out, and I will see you guys on another one. Peace.